here in Arizona. We better get this started. Veteran teams, you know what this is, right? Get on your feet. Get on your feet. It's kickoff day. Here we go. Start us off. FTC. 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 Who else has friends that are still sleeping right now? Let's go. Make it loud. It's kickoff already. How did that happen? Like, I've talked to so many coaches this morning and they're like, is it really kickoff day? Yeah, it's really kickoff day. It's here. Are you guys excited?
Can you believe it? It is kickoff. Oh my gosh. We were on a river, what, a month ago?
Just barely a month ago, we were down at the bottom of the Grand Canyon, and all of a sudden we turned the calendar like, oh, kickoff. Kickoff is coming.
We're going to have to get ready for this. Are you guys ready for this?
Yeah.
Are we ready?
Hey, Dave, I want to find out who's here. So, folks, if you are from Southern Arizona, will you please make some noise? Very nice. Any teams from kind of up north? Let's say north of Phoenix. Anybody north of Phoenix that's here? I know Coconuts, you're here. I told them to meet at the school at 4:30 this morning, so they may or may not be awake at this point. Where's our West Valley teams? And our East Valley teams? Our Central teams? Where you at? Awesome. What if you're just here volunteering? Where are my volunteers? Where's my planning committee here? What if you're a parent of a student going, what the heck are those crazy people in orange talking about? Where are my parents? Parents, make some noise. Yeah, there you go. Awesome. Welcome one and all to the 2022-2023 first Energized season. We're so excited, you guys. In just a few minutes, you're going to get to see what's behind door number 1. But until then, I have a captive audience, and I'm going to use it. All right, folks, you have just a few minutes left. If you haven't already, there's a selection of randomness on the back table. One of those elements in the back is what your robots are going to have to play with this year. So you have just a few minutes left to scan that QR code and guess what you think the game element is. You could win fabulous prizes. No, I'm serious. I actually have t-shirts to give away to people that win.
Come on in, new teams. Come on in, find a seat. Let's get ready for kickoff and get energized today. POWERPLAY this game.
And folks, just one quick reminder, also we would love to know that you were here today, so if you haven't checked in, after the broadcast, please check in with the lovely Miss Susan and the lovely Miss Vicky up at the front there so that we know you are here. And we just need one coach from each team to check in and let us know that you were here today. Awesome. All right, this is it. Last chance to scan this thing.
Let's do it.
POWERPLAY season! I can't wait to see what you guys think the game element is. In just a few minutes, you're going to get to see what's under here. But until then, we have some thank yous we definitely have to do first, and then some logistics for you and your coaches. So, this absolutely would not be possible without the generous and continuing sponsorships that First Tech Challenge has. So, huge round of applause. Raytheon Technologies, Qualcomm, PTC, they make this program possible for you guys. So, make some noise. Two very key sponsors. Of course, ASU was nice enough to host our kickoff. It's been 3 years since we've had kickoff in this room, and look at this. It is standing room only. It's so great to be back together with our families. I consider all of you guys family, friends, everybody. It's so great to be back. But Arizona really would not happen without these folks in red. Coconuts, please wave. And of course, we gotta give a huge shout out to Northern Arizona University. Not only are they hosting your championship once again this year, super excited to be back on the NAU campus for that, but teachers, if you would like some professional development hours, make sure that you sign into each of the workshops you attend today. You will get a certificate from the NAU Center for Science Teaching and Learning for your time today. Thank you for our connection there, Dave. Dave is retired. Retired. But we still have a tremendous support for the Center for Science Teaching and Learning, so teachers especially, please make sure you sign in so that you guys can actually get some PD hours for attending those workshops that you were going to go to anyway. Thank you. Alright folks, I need the people that are on this list here. This absolutely would not happen. You know them, you love them, you see them at every event. Please stand up. Everybody that is... Yes, you too, get up there. Stand up, guys. The people in the dark shirts. So many more Matt, our Phoenix ambassador. Dude gets your fields from point A to point B to make sure we can actually compete, because it's kind of a long drive from Flagstaff sometimes. Oh, yeah. Zach Smith, he is the magic dude that makes your robot work. And if we haven't met yet, my name is Christine Sapio, and I send emails.
We only got the one thing going. Packing all the boxes, putting all this together, making sure FTC runs in Arizona. Without this team, guys, without these incredibly hard, dedicated people, we couldn't have the amazing events that we have. So let's give it up one more time, if you would. Please give it up to the Arizona Planning Committee, all these hard workers here, right here. Thank you so very much.
There are a couple of absolutely critical things that you must do. As of yesterday, when I checked, we had about 42 or so teams that were actually paid in Arizona. I know there's more of you out there. So, please, 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 as soon as you can, log onto your dashboard, pay your entry fee for this season. That is required for you to compete at official events. No, we don't need it for kickoff, but we do need it for official events. We physically cannot put you in the scoring system unless you are registered with First. You cannot play without this. You also must make sure you have two adults that have cleared the youth protection process. That is critical. We also cannot let your team compete until that's happened. So please make sure that you guys get that taken care of. The perk is, if you do that by September 15th at 9 a.m. Arizona time, your team could win a half field. So whatever's living under here, you could get a field for your team to help you get ready for the season if you get registered by September 15th. Congratulations to the 42 teams that have already done that. Good job, you guys. I came in. Next, here's the deal, guys. I keep getting constant messages about grant money. We cannot wait to get rid of this grant money, okay? There are lots and lots of generous sponsors out there that are trying to sponsor your teams. Not just rookies. I'm seeing grants for veteran teams. Make sure you check out the First Tech Challenge grant page and apply for those grants. They are trying to give your team money so that you can compete this season. Yes, veterans, you too. So please make sure that you guys do that. Next, at 10 o'clock this morning, you're going to get the chance to start signing up for your events. So excited. This time last year we were still like, events, are they going to happen? We think so. This time we know so. So we've got 8 qualifying tournaments already set up, ready to rock and roll. We actually already even have one in reserve just in case those fill up. So we're ready to rock and roll, guys. So take a look at what that schedule looks like. It is on the blog. It is on the first website. So start taking a look at those. Get your team together and say, hey, where are we going to play, guys? Because it's happening.
Where are they going to volunteer?
Now here's the other one, right? I've just been Susan is always my little birdie that says, but what about volunteers? I love it. Well, Ducky, I guess this year. So we're able to, of course, have you volunteer at some of those events as well. It takes a lot of volunteers to run those events. 8 qualifiers plus the championship. So plenty of opportunities for you to volunteer. We even already have 2 scrimmages on the books. One down in Tucson and one up in Flagstaff to help you get ready to rock and roll. All right, so this is the unscripted portion of our program here. I just gotta watch my time. Yeah, we got 47 minutes to kick off. Sorry, 17 minutes to kick off. I got up at 3:30 this morning, folks, and I'm still this excited. So, we have a couple of coaches that would like to share some of their best practice. So not just for rookies. Wait, where are my rookies, by the way? If this is your first year competing,
Good job. Wow, you folks are in for a roller coaster. Wow. We had a rookie season 17 years ago. I don't know what happened. That was 17 years ago and I'm still trying to figure it out. But we have some coaches out here that love to sit here and give you some advice. Not just rookies, but everyone out there, okay?
Stand up if you got some advice. I know we talked to a couple of you guys.
Got some advice? Here we go, right here.
Hey guys, my name is Steve Kloss. I'm the head coach for Saturday Samurai 143.5. Best advice I can give you guys is push hard early on in the season. You cannot push hard enough. Both that means from the player's perspective, commit as much as you possibly can because it will pay off dividends in the end. Your goal right now, early on, is to qualify for state. That's the only thing that matters. So focus all your efforts on getting in state. Far easier to qualify for state beginning is at the end because all the teams have advanced their routes. So qualify early, a lot easier.
Here we go. I got the automaton. Nope. Here we go.
So, Brother Jack from Team Viper and Team Venom. Biggest piece of advice from me is to document everything. That all goes in your engineering notebook, and your engineering notebook becomes the foundation of your engineering portfolio, and most of the judged awards use that engineering portfolio. So document your entire journey, starting, if you have not started it, start it with today, right now.
Thank you, Brother Jack.
Hi, this is Coach Lane with Team 6174, the Automatons. And I'm going to give you a twofer. Number one, very important because we have a lot of scientific, smart students here. The world needs people that finish things more than they need people that perfect things. Okay? Don't get stuck on analysis paralysis. And then the second thing I'm gonna share with you is that you get out of this program what you put into it. All right? The successful teams, they do their homework. They watch YouTube videos. They scout teams. They see what other teams are doing. They see what other robots have done in the past. They ask questions. Do that, and you will be successful.
Good morning, I'm Pavan. I'm with Beat Patrol, and I just want to share and echo some of the advice earlier. Pushing hard early and starting those iterations is important, as you're going to fail a lot early. Okay, but those are points of pride in order to take things from and move forward. So if you register for an early tournament, even if you're at 1.0 version of your robot at the very end will look different. So yeah, don't need to reach for perfection up front. Get out there, learn the lessons, and you'll be successful.
Hi, I'm Matt Raney. I am the head mentor of the VCS program at Valley Christian Schools. We have 4 different I've been doing FIRST for 15 years. One thing I highly suggest is signing up for more than one tournament. More than one qualifier. Sign up early, as everyone else has said already. If you do at least one in the beginning of the season, you can then iterate and work on your robot for the next one. Sign up for more than one event. I can't tell you how many times we have rookie teams and even veteran teams sign up for one event. Then when they get to later in the season, all of the events have already filled up. Sign up for more than one event.
Hi, I'm Anna Newley, Team 10369, the Robo Sapiens. It's very stressful sometimes at competitions, but please remember gracious professionalism. Remember, it is not the end. It's okay if you lose. Please be a good sport. We're all friends. We're all out there to be partners with you, even though we're also competing. So just remember gracious professionalism.
You don't know the power. I made you look. Hi, I'm Mr. Kilos. Or David Kilos. I am FTC Teams 11, 980, and 15135. They're awesome. I like that. All right, cool. We have 2 tips. 1, have fun. And 2, even if you just have a box of parts, come to the event anyway. Right? Because we did that once, and we walked away with a working robot. By the end, we had so many people helping us, it was great. It's like, here's our robot on a cart with a bunch of parts. And by the end of the day, we had it. So, show up. Have fun.
That is so true. So true. That so many times people will come to an event, and when they walk away from that event, they, for the first time, are saying, we have a moving bot now. And you know what? That's our goal. We will make sure. We have folks here that will make sure. They wave their hand over those silly things. I don't know what they do, and they make it run.
Oh, hail the people that make robots move.
Well, we got about 10 minutes. What do you think? we got some registration information. Well, coaches, thank you so much for giving some incredible advice to these teams. I'm going to put it on your calendar here today. We have a special announcement, especially all you rookies. I do want you to come meet the coaches. Meet both Christine and myself. We're going to be in the Coconino room right after lunch. We're setting up kind of a meet and greet just to share best practices, go over. And we have some special things for all you rookies here. You're going to walk away with some serious swag. It's always the AV when I come to ASU. Come on, ASU. Number one in innovation, yes.
All right, folks, there's a couple of students that I would love to recognize at this point. If you are a nominee or a finalist for the first Dean's List from your team, first tech challenge or first robotics competition, would you please stand up and wave? Mentors, you know who they are. They're the first to arrive, they're the last to leave. They're the students that inspire all your students on your team to be better. They make your community better, they make your robots better, they have the great ideas, they have the compassion and the leadership to take your team forward. You know who they are, and if you don't yet, you're going to find out who they are as you move through your season. We want you to recognize those students. So please, 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 think about nominating your juniors and your sophomores on your team for the first Dean's List, okay? Every team has the opportunity to nominate up to 2 of those amazing students from your team. Those students are nominated by an essay that has to be submitted by your coach, but can be written and contributed to by the students on your team. We want to know all the amazing things that they do, okay? Tell us all about those amazing outreach events that they put together, the incredible innovations they came up with on the robot, the leadership that they show on your team. Tell us all about that. Once you nominate those students via that essay, we have the incredible privilege of interviewing those students. And from that pool of students, we get to choose our Arizona Dean's List finalists that we then send on to World Championship to be in the running for the first Dean's List. How cool is that, right? So, we decided this last night, after the field was set up, we decided that we're going to go ahead and we're going to interview those students in late January. But what that means is you must have your nominations in by December 15th of 2022. Now, we all know technology works perfectly every single time, right? Yeah. So please don't wait until the few minutes before that deadline, because if something goes wrong, you've missed your opportunity to nominate those students, okay? You must make sure that you meet that deadline. We absolutely cannot open that up after that deadline. There is absolutely no way that we can do that, okay? Unless something melts down at headquarters, but that usually doesn't happen. So please, 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 start thinking about this now, okay? And then as we approach, late November, December, start putting in those nominations so that we can hear about all the incredible things your students are doing. Thanks. Our representatives from Arizona at the World Championships. Catholic Master Builders, Roaring Robotics, I know can't be here because they're quite a bit. CMB, would you guys stand up, please? And remember our last year's Dean's List finalists, are they here? Brandon, stand up. Yeah. Up today. Awesome. So, folks, those are the incredible teams that we sent on to World Championships. We just wanted to recognize them. Represented Arizona amazingly well and everything. Could be your team name up there. You never know. Might be you this year. All right, this is the part where you get to hear me say this again, okay? We do our best to try to give you guys the information you need when you need it, but you gotta do your parts, okay? We always kind of joke, I send emails, Dave packs boxes, and all this kind of stuff, but here's the thing. The information that we're trying to send to you is important. It's things like, oh, maybe you need to update your robot. Let's say your control system needs to get updated. Or, hey, there's this grant money available, but it's got a deadline. Or, hey, we need volunteers at this event. Or, this is the deadline to do this, like your Dean's List nominations. If you don't read those messages when they come out, you're not going to know what's going on. And then you're going to go, wait a second, I didn't know there was a scrimmage I could have gone to. Please make sure you read them. I try not to make them super long and everything, but what is in there is really important, guys. So, please make sure you visit it early and often. You like the boxes? Yeah? Yeah? The boxes are really cool. What's inside those boxes is under the tarp. So please, please, please make sure you do that. Awesome, okay, and now we're going to talk about qualifier registration. It is going to open. Technology guru, technology universe being Willie, it is going to open at 10 o'clock this morning after the broadcast. You will have the opportunity to sign up for your events. The way we've got it set up is we have it split into half. The stuff before winter break and the stuff after. You have the opportunity to sign up for one from each at this point. If you are thinking about playing a third tournament, you have the opportunity to tell us where you would like that to be. But here's what we're going to do. We're going to assign everybody to their first two first, and then assign those third picks. Does that make sense? So we make sure that everybody has at least 2 opportunities to play before we start plugging in those third plays. On your first 2, you also have the opportunity to select an alternate. Please make sure it's one you can actually go to. Okay, we ran into that a little bit last year where we're like, hey, so the event you wanted is full, here's your event. And you're like, but wait, that one doesn't work for us because there's ACT testing or whatever happens to be that day. Please double check and make sure that that works. If that means that you can't register right this second, that's okay. But please try to do that within the next, let's say, week to 2 weeks. Because we will be starting to make those assignments here. And then as soon as we have kind of that first round done, we're going to assign teams to those third spots. If you wait longer than that, you might not get the ones you want. Okay? Because I know there's certain tournaments that fill up just almost instantly. So please, 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 go ahead and get that in as soon as you can. We're sticking with the same pricing structure we did last year. $225 for 2 events, $300 for 3 events. Do the math, folks. That means it's cheaper per tournament if you play 3. Just saying.
With your public service announcement, it's almost time.
It's time. Let's do this. Ladies and gentlemen, drum roll please.
Hello and welcome, First Tech Challenge teams. I'm Isaiah Burrell, and I'm happy to be here for the First Tech Challenge 2022-2023 season kickoff, and the reveal of POWERPLAY, presented by Raytheon Technologies, all part of First Energize, presented by Qualcomm. We're excited to have all 10 of our 2022 Dean's List Award winners hosting our kickoff show today.
Hi First Tech Challenge teams, I'm Diana Omar. I'm so thrilled to be part of the POWERPLAY celebration. We have a full show today packed with some kickoff messages from some familiar first faces, our very generous First and First Tech Challenge sponsors, a gracious professionalism message from our past year's Dean's List Award winners, the POWERPLAY season reveal, and finally a detailed field walkthrough to help teams get started with their season planning. All of the game materials are now available on our website, so please use the website as your reference during the season. To kick off our fully charged celebration, we have First Chief Executive Officer Chris Moore.
Hello, First Tech Challenge community. Welcome to the 2022 First Energize presented by Qualcomm season. I'm thrilled to be here to help kick off a new season of First Tech Challenge, and I can't wait for you to get your first glimpse of the new game POWERPLAY presented by Raytheon Technologies. I hope you leave kickoff feeling charged up for what this season has in store. We wouldn't be here today without the generous support of our sponsors. So I want to extend a special thanks to First Tech Challenge season presenting sponsor, Raytheon Technologies. I also want to thank all the amazing mentors and volunteers who graciously give of their time to help our teams be successful in everything from teamwork, outreach, robot building, and programming. To all FIRST volunteers, I hope you know that you are critical to the success of our events and our programs, and you're the reason why FIRST is such a transformative experience for all of the students who participate. So thank you for your commitment to the mission of FIRST. And finally, I want to wish all the youth team members watching a great season. We can't wait to see how you approach the game this year. And on behalf of all of us at FIRST, good luck, and we'll see you out on the POWERPLAY field. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Moore. A huge thank you to all our sponsors this year making our first Energize season and POWERPLAY game possible. For more than 16 years, Qualcomm has supported FIRST programs, events, and teams worldwide. Through their collaboration and support of FIRST, Qualcomm is helping build a pipeline of STEM leaders who will fuel a future invention age. Here's a special message to inspire you this season.
Hello, First Tech Challenge teams, and welcome to POWERPLAY, part of the First Energize presented by Qualcomm season. I'm Chloe Callahan from Corporate Responsibility at Qualcomm, and we are so happy to support another season. We'll be cheering you on as you fuel your imagination, power your innovations, and test the limits. For engineers, creators, and inventors, energy choice is a balancing act. What innovative strategies will you employ to maximize efficiency, endurance, and performance in POWERPLAY? At Qualcomm, our technologies offer innovative ways to maximize the performance of devices while reducing the amount of energy they use. With 5G, we have the opportunity to help lower greenhouse gas emissions, better manage electricity, reduce water consumption, and contribute to green job growth. To further explore how 5G technologies are helping improve environmental sustainability, visit the First Tech Challenge game and season page. In First Energize, the power is yours. It's your new ideas that could unlock an energy revolution. Good luck, First Tech Challenge teams, and we'll see you out on the POWERPLAY field.
Thank you, Qualcomm. And now our First Tech Challenge season presenting sponsor, Raytheon Technologies, will take you behind the scenes and give you a closer look at how they're bringing clean energy solutions to aviation.
Welcome to the 2022 First Tech Challenge season, POWERPLAY presented by Raytheon Technologies. This year's FTC season is directly related to solving problems outlined in the United Nations Sustainability Development Goal number 7, which focuses on ensuring access to affordable, reliable, and sustainable energy for everyone. How you design and engineer a solution is critical to its performance, and energy always plays a big role. From analyzing power consumption and range to optimizing size, weight, materials, and the goal is always to make the right decision to give your creation a decisive edge. These skills that you will develop and hone this season in your research, design, and problem solving are exactly the same skills that Raytheon Technologies employees use every day, shaping the future of aerospace. As an aerospace and defense company, Raytheon Technology fully supports the civil aviation industry's drive to decarbonization by 2050. And now you all will get a behind-the-scene look at how our teams are creating clean energy aviation solutions for today, tomorrow, and in the future.
Here at Pratt & Whitney, I'm a design engineer in the Mechanical Systems Transmissions team, where I support the main gearbox, angled gearbox, and of course the fan drive gear system, which truly sets the geared turbofan apart from any other engine in its class.
As an oil systems and thermal management systems engineer at Pratt & Whitney, I'm responsible for keeping the engine cool as it flies through the sky.
The fan drive gear system allows the fan in the front of the engine to spin about 3 times slower than the turbines in the back. This allows the geared turbofan engine to be much quieter, much more fuel efficient, and ultimately much greener than any other engine that came before it.
By 2035, we plan to launch a hybrid electric GTF engine with 25% fuel reduction.
It has been so rewarding to work here at Pratt & Whitney and support the innovative technology that is the geared turbofan.
I'm proud to work at a company that cares so much about sustainability and the future of the aviation industry.
In the not-too-distant future, hybrid electric and fully electric aircraft will revolutionize air travel as we know it, opening up new markets like urban air mobility while reinvigorating others like regional service and underutilized airports. This technology supports a greener planet by reducing carbon emissions and operation costs. Hybrid electric aircraft propulsion systems pair a conventional aircraft engine with an electric motor and drivetrain. Similar to a hybrid car, a hybrid electric plane would have both engines and electric motors. The motors and batteries will provide a boost during takeoff and climb. This will allow the engines to be optimized for cruise. Another alternative fuel that has drawn significant attention is hydrogen, which produces no carbon emissions when it is burned. Today, we're developing technology for next-generation engines that run on hydrogen, and also reimagining airframes to properly store this lower energy density fuel. The team here at Raytheon Technologies Research Center is also working on engine concepts that are powered by intermediate hydrogen fuels, such as ammonia. Ammonia brings the advantages of hydrogen propulsion, but in a more transportable fuel. The benefits of both fuels are dramatic, with the promise of zero in-flight CO2 emissions.
Our teams are working across the Raytheon Technologies enterprise to make hybrid electro-propulsion a reality. And we are uniquely positioned to lead aerospace in electrification through the combination of Collins Aerospace expertise in electrical systems and Pratt & Whitney's propulsion system manufacturing, as well as integration capabilities, and the advanced architecture concepts and fuel cell technologies that are being developed here at the Research Center. The FTC team will join others from around the world to reimagine the future of sustainable energy and compete in an energy-driven game that tests the limits of performance, efficiency, and endurance as we power innovations forward. Hopefully, our work helps fuel your imagination, and we can't wait to see your team's creative solutions in PowerPlay. Best of luck to all of you.
Thank you for that behind-the-scenes look. I hope that gives all of you some inspiration for this season.
We want to take a moment to remind our community that gracious professionalism is an important part of what makes First, and that it's also at the heart of each and every team practice and get-together, as well as every First Tech Challenge event. Here's our 2021 Dean's List winners to remind us all about the importance of gracious professionalism for this upcoming season.
To me, gracious professionalism is about helping everyone to perform their best. One of my favorite memories is the time I zip-tied my opponent's robot back together in one of the last qualifier matches of our league championship.
Gracious professionalism is knowing that even though we compete with or against other teams, we will always be friends and cheer each other on.
To me, gracious professionalism is where everybody who's at the table can be valued for their own individual set of skills.
To me, gracious professionalism means being positive and respectful to everyone, no matter the situation.
Gracious professionalism is working in collaboration with your fellow competitors, ensuring that no matter who ends up getting first place, everyone walks away feeling supported and having learned something.
Gracious professionalism to me means working with a diverse group of individuals from different backgrounds and cultures to innovate and create a big, caring society.
Gracious professionalism is about more than gaining technical skills and competing. It's about being a good team member, a good volunteer, and a good person.
Gracious professionalism means being true to myself and others by respecting and supporting everyone, no matter what side of the field they're on, in competition and in life.
Gracious professionalism is the foundation from which a massive tech community like First is built upon. All of the creativity and teamwork and inspiration for kids to build the future starts with all of us nurturing an environment of respect and acceptance.
depends on our community embracing gracious professionalism, making it a priority in the competition season and part of your everyday life. This season, your goal is to be a collaborative teammate, a respected competitor, and a better person, which are all central themes of being a gracious professional.
One of our favorite gracious professionals is our 2022 Compass Award winner, Fernando Melendez-Lora, who was nominated by Team 12887, Devolt Phobos, from Chihuahua, Mexico. He is here today to thank all of our amazing First Tech Challenge mentors and tell us what mentoring a First Tech Challenge team means to him.
Hola, buenos días. Reciban un saludo desde Chihuahua, México. Me siento muy afortunado de ser parte de esta gran fiesta que es el Kickoff de la temporada 2022-2023 POWERPLAY. Y más afortunado y honrado de haber recibido el Compass Award el pasado Mundial de Houston en el mes de abril. First ha sido un gran cambio en mi vida. Es un lugar donde puedo convivir con niños y jóvenes, guiarlos, mentorearlos y ser parte de su crecimiento. Estos últimos 6 años como coach han sido una gran aventura. Pasar de iniciar un proyecto con 10 personas y un solo equipo a tener más de 70 integrantes en 5 equipos diferentes. Esto es solo una pequeña muestra de lo que se puede lograr con dedicación, paciencia y sobre todo amor y pasión por hacer las cosas. El ver a estos jóvenes disfrutar cada competencia, cada viaje y ser parte de su crecimiento es lo que más me emociona como coach. Es por eso que quiero reconocer y valorar el esfuerzo de todos los coaches, mentores, voluntarios que ponen su tiempo, su esfuerzo, su dedicación en lograr de que cada evento sea significativo para nuestros jóvenes. Sepan que todo ese tiempo y trabajo invertido vale la pena. Muchas gracias a todos ellos.
What an important message from Coach Fernando Melendez-Lora. I know our team coach really made our season a success as well. Next up, we have the one and only Senior Director of First Tech Challenge, Ken Johnson. Ken has been an integral part of the First Tech Challenge team for over 15 years and has steered our program to the success we've reached today. Today, he's here to share some words of wisdom and goals for the upcoming season.
Hi, I'm Ken Johnson, Senior Director of First Tech Challenge, and I'm excited to talk about the new season and this year's game, POWERPLAY, presented by Raytheon Technologies. Number one, though, I want to give a huge shout out to everyone in the First Tech Challenge community. These last couple of years have been challenging, and we met those challenges together. Your problem-solving, creativity, and perseverance were examples to the world, and as a result, First Tech Challenge grew 33% last season. We will continue to press the FIRST mission forward with your help. Please spread the word about FIRST and how we are changing the future. We want to make First Tech Challenge available to students around the world. Most of you have seen firsthand the impact we make. Please share your stories to grow our community and help others. Speaking of growing our community, thanks to the generous support of the DECA Foundation, we have increased our rookie grants from $500 to $750 per rookie team this season. These are need-based grants, but we have quite a few of them, so we're able to serve a wide variety of rookie teams. This season, we're expanding the application of TensorFlow. Many teams have been using artificial intelligence or machine learning with TensorFlow, using image models created by FIRST to identify game elements. Last year, we held a pilot effort, allowing teams to also create their own image models of team-created scoring elements. This allows teams to train TensorFlow to detect custom elements for gameplay. Students and teams doing this are applying artificial intelligence from start to finish. Not just learning conceptually what AI is, but actually applying it all the way through. Amazing. And something most college students and adults can't do. Pretty good skill to add to your resume or college application. This season, all teams will have this opportunity, so please, check it out. As everyone knows, the global supply chain has been tough over the last couple of years. Electronics have been particularly hit hard, impacting everything from consumer goods to automobiles. It has impacted FIRST as well, but thanks to the hard work by Rev Robotics and our FIRST community, those issues are being managed. We expect to have control hubs in stock in September, and we will prioritize rookie team and rookie class pack orders to help new folks get started. And whether you're new or returning team, check out the FIRST Mentor Network, sponsored by NI. to help your team find and connect with additional FIRST mentors for inspiration, fundraising, and robot building. For a meeting or for the entire season. And finally, we are expanding the First Tech Challenge World Championship footprint in Houston, growing from 160 to 192 teams starting this season. It will still be tough to earn your way there, but we want to ensure every team around the world has the merit-based opportunity to earn a spot. Well, that's it for now. This season, I can't wait to see your teams power up, develop creative solutions, and test the limits. Good luck and have fun.
Thank you, Ken. An enormous shout out to our amazing and dedicated game design committee, Jessica Ballin-Smith, Michael Coleman, Mark Edelman, Aaron Fadden, Joe Perotto, Manny Woe, and Kevin Rudd. Thank you for the hundreds of hours you spent creating, refining, and documenting this year's electrifying game. We can't wait to show you all the most important part of our Power Play Kickoff, the reveal. A special thank you to the very spectacular 2019-2020 Volunteer of the Year winner, Kevin Thorpe, for the beautiful animation, and for our very own Michelle Long for narrating every detail. After the reveal, make sure to stick around for the field walkthrough. And now, the exhilarating reveal of the 2022-2023 First Tech Challenge game, Power Play, presented by Raytheon Technologies.
Welcome to the First Tech Challenge 2022-2023 season game. Power Play, presented by Raytheon Technologies. A team consists of up to 2 driver operators, a human player, a coach, and a robot. Each match is played with 4 randomly selected teams, 2 per alliance. But each alliance is only allowed 1 human player. Your opponent for one match may be your partner for another. Robots must be built from materials specified in the game manual and fit within an 18-inch sizing tool, but may expand after the match begins. The game element is a 4-inch diameter by 5-inch tall plastic cone. There are 60 cones, 30 red and 30 blue. Teams may also use their custom-designed beacons in gameplay. The game is played on a 12-foot square playing field with a foam tile floor and 1-foot-high walls. Various sized junctions are placed across the field, including 9 ground junctions. In addition, there are 8 low, 4 medium, and 4 high junctions. These junctions are mounted on flexible springs and might not be perfectly vertical. Taped-off substations are centered on both sides. In each corner are taped-off terminals. In the front and back of the field are taped stripes to help robots find cone stacks. There are 4 signals placed on the field. 4 unique navigation images are positioned on the field wall. And outside of the field are the red and blue alliance stations. Before each match, cones are stacked in the substation storage areas and inside the playing fields. Custom beacons are also placed in the substation storage area. Teams place their robots on the field, touching the wall between the substation and terminals. Each team may preload 1 cone into their robot. The 3-sided signal is then randomized. Each image references a specific parking target during match play. If a team designs their own signal sleeve, it can be used to gain additional points. The fields and players are now ready. The match begins with a 30-second autonomous period. During this period, there are a number of ways for teams to score, using only pre-programmed instructions and sensor input. Each cone secured on a junction earns points. 2 points for the ground junction, 3 points for the low junction, 4 points for the medium junction, and 5 points for the high junction. A robot parked in their Alliance substation or terminal earns 2 points. If a robot's sensors correctly read the randomized signal, it can park in the corresponding signal zone to earn 10 points. However, parking in the proper signal zone shown by a custom signal sleeve will earn 20 points. Following the autonomous period is the 2-minute driver-controlled period. During this period, human players may introduce new cones into the substation. Each cone that is placed in its matching colored terminal earns 1 point. Securing cones in junctions earns the same points as during the autonomous period. 2 points for the ground junction, 3 points for the low, 4 points for medium, and 5 points for the high junction. The last 30 seconds of the driver-controlled period is the end game. Robots may continue scoring cones, but there are also ways to earn bonus points. Alliances earn points for owning a junction. This can be accomplished in 2 ways. An alliance owns the junction if their colored cone is scored on top. This earns an additional 3 points. The junction can also be owned by capping it with a beacon. This earns 10 additional points and prevents the opposing alliance from recapturing that junction. An alliance earns 20 points by completing a circuit. This is done by owning a continuous path of junctions from one terminal to the other. And if a robot is parked in either of their alliance terminal, it earns 2 points. All cones scored during the autonomous period count again if they remain in place at the end of the match. There are many ways to score in Power Play, but there are also rules that if not followed will deduct points from your alliance. For example, robots may not descore opposing alliance cones or beacons. A robot may not block or interfere with an opposing alliance attempting to score. A robot must be completely outside of a substation in order to score a cone or a beacon. Robots may control or possess only 1 cone and 1 beacon at a time. Scoring elements may not be launched, and robots may not deliberately remove game elements from the playing field. This has been a brief summary of this season's game, Power Play, presented by Raytheon Technologies. For complete rules, please read both game manuals and check the Q&A forum. And always remember the most important rule in First Tech Challenge, gracious professionalism. Good luck, teams, and have a great season.
Wow, what a game we have this season. Here, to give us a closer look at the field is Aaron Fadden, Game Design Committee team member and First Tech Challenge project manager.
Teams, I'm Aaron Fadden, member of the First Tech Challenge Game Design Committee. I hope you're excited about this year's Power Play game presented by Raytheon Technologies. I want to give a huge shout out to the Game Design Committee for all the hard work they put in year-round to design each game. Let's take a quick walkthrough of the actual field, plus talk about some of the exciting components of this year's game. First, let's talk about the junctions. As mentioned in the animation, there are 4 different types of junctions: ground, low, medium, and high. The low, medium, and high junctions have different ranges of movement based on the height. The range of motion decreases as cones are added to these junctions. Next up, we have the cones. Here's what they look like on the field during pre-match setup. To be considered scored, a cone must be secured to a junction. Secured means that either the 4-inch diameter base of the cone is completely in the recess of the floor junction, or when the pole of the low, medium, or high junction passes through the 1.25-inch diameter of the cone with a large opening facing toward the playing field floor. A cone is secured when it is scored onto another secured cone. Cones can be in any orientation to score in a terminal. Descoring, whether intentional or not, may have severe impact on an alliance's ability to complete a circuit. Therefore, accuracy in driving is an important component in this game. There are rules outlined in the game manual that cover penalties for descoring. Teams should be especially careful of descoring cones from the ground junctions. Returning the seer is a team scoring element called the beacon, which is used to cap a junction in the endgame period to convey ownership of a junction. Make sure to look at the team scoring element rules that are outlined in the game manual part 1 when constructing the beacon. Teams will need to have both a red and a blue beacon to fully play the game. And more importantly, the beacon cannot resemble a game element. That means items such as cups will not be allowed as a legal beacon. Teams are also encouraged to use TensorFlow technology in the autonomous period. The signal used in autonomous is a tournament-provided element that has 3 images that will be randomized. Teams earn points for navigating to the correct location based on the randomized image. Teams can gain more points if they create their own signal sleeve to place over the signal during pre-match setup and successfully navigate to the correct signal location during the autonomous. A template must be used to create the signal sleeve with images and the team number printed on the sleeve prior to arriving at the competition. The signal zone locations where the robots navigate to in the autonomous are not defined by a tape boundary. Therefore, there is no tape to assist in navigation or identifying inside and outside of these zones. PowerPlay is a game of strategy, and teams should be prepared to work with their alliance partner to outline the best plan of action to score and ideally create their completed circuit. You should expect that the opposing alliance can and will score cones on top of your cones, which may break an already completed circuit. Teams also need to quickly strategize where to place their beacon during the endgame to convey ownership of a junction. This way, your alliance now owns that junction, and the opposing alliance cannot reclaim it from you. Remember, you only have 2 beacons total per match. I hope you enjoyed this overview of the PowerPlay game field in action. Good luck this season, teams.
Thanks so much, Aaron. The field looks full of exciting and fun new challenges. We can't wait to see what the upcoming season has in store.
This season is definitely going to generate a bunch of excitement. We can't wait to see your creative solutions and robots in action on the field. And if you're watching but haven't registered yet, there's still time to power up and join us. Visit our website for details and to get started. Be sure to tag First Tech Challenge on your team's social media throughout the season so we can keep in touch and see how your team is tackling the game. Thanks for joining us to kick off the season and being part of the FIRST community. For all of us here at First Tech Challenge, good luck. Have a great year, and I hope to see you out there in person soon. The power is in your hands.
Well, this is, what do you think, guys? What do you think? Looking pretty amazing. Power up. Wow. Okay, Power Play. We had some people actually making some choices, didn't we?
We sure did. So, Baby Yoda came out on top this year. out with 13% of you thought we'd be playing with Baby Yoda this year. Great idea. Sorry, guys. Baby Yoda's got to stay on the sidelines. Next was the batons. The red and the blue batons were kind of the next one, 9% of the vote there. The Duckies. The Duckies made a strong showing. Yeah, Duckies. They made a strong showing, 8% of the vote. That pig came in with 7%, and the purple spiky ball came in with 6% of your vote for what you thought you were going to be having to do with your robots. But we did have 4 people actually guess cones correctly as the game element. And we have red robotic shirts for you. So, Ken from the Falcons. Samuel from Team 19728, where are you at?
Where's the t-shirt, Ken?
Nice job. Preston from one of our rookie teams, Team 21920, guessed correctly that we'd be playing with cones. First tech challenge, and you walk away with a t-shirt. And Antonio from 11980 also guessed correctly back there. Back there. Nice job, you guys guessed the cones. Totally different game than what we played in the last couple of years. I hope you guys are excited about it. Lots of strategy, lots of cool stuff you can do. Awesome, I think it is time for the man, the myth, the legend. Rich Gomez, one of our Arizona head referees. And that penalty flag, man, I don't know. I think Susan and Patty, I think you guys are getting some, I don't know, I think you're going to have to get some major penalties or something. All that cone shenanigans there. So Rich is going to give you guys just a few hints about the game. Before he does that, though, this is the workshop schedule. I want to give a huge shout out to all the volunteers and all of the teams that volunteer to host workshops. We have 20 different workshops that are being offered today for you guys to help get ready for your season. So, incredible turnout for that. We are offering each of those workshops twice. So, if you go into a workshop and it's packed like this and it's standing room only, go ahead and go to the second session, okay? So spread yourselves out. There should be some different stuff going on and everything. Some sessions are a half an hour, some sessions are a full hour. But presenters, just one more reminder on that. We didn't build any passing periods or anything like that just because it was going to be really weird with the half hour and the 1 hour. So please try to end your workshops 3 to 5 minutes early so we have teams have a chance to go and switch workshops so that they can go ahead and see those different, as much of the amazing information as you possibly can. So once Rich is done here, he's going to give you guys kind of the information here, that kind of the key things to know. We'll have a few minutes for you guys to come on up and see what this game is all about. Coaches, come see us during that Coach Cafe, and you can go home with a cone. That was a lot of C's in the same sentence. So come see us. We'll send you guys home with a game piece so you can get started with your robots. And then after lunch, we've got the rest of our sessions, 3 more hours of workshops. So we hope you guys will stick around and get as much information as you can and get ready to rock POWERPLAY. Are you guys ready? All right, take it away, Rich.
All right, great to see everyone here today. This is exciting. I know I'm energized. How about y'all? And yes, Dave did get a GP warning. You know, when I consulted him, he was getting a little irritated and frustrated with the cones, if you noticed. So he did get that, but he behaved himself, so I didn't have to give him a yellow card or a red card. So thank you, Dave, for behaving. All right, so are you ready for the season? This one's going to be an interesting one. I'm looking forward to seeing the level of competition you bring. Looking at the field here, well, as you can see, it's going to be an interesting navigation time. I'm excited to see what you come up with as far as handling the cones and introducing all those and whatnot. So, as always, I'll start off here by saying the most important thing you can do to get ready is do what? Read the manual. Both Game Manual 2, but also don't forget about Game Manual 1. It's got a lot of good information, especially on those beacons and the sleeves. Now, pay attention to those rules as well. Game Manual 2 lays out a lot of stuff there. there's some complicated aspects, but once you start digesting it, I think it pretty much makes sense. As you get going. I'm expecting a few updates. We'll see what happens. Every year we get updates, so don't forget to check those on a regular basis, in addition to rereading Game Manual 1 and 2 throughout the season. Take a look at those rules. Keep reading those. I know I speak for Robert and Matt and all our other head referees that'll be working. Every time we go in and read the book, read the manual, we pick up something new, something different. And of course, we're always challenged at the tournaments with some of the loopholes you come up with and head scratching going, okay, does that fit? Yep, that fits, or nope, that doesn't. So I'm looking forward to seeing that in action. So next slide, please. Obviously, Aaron hit a number of things on the field, so I will refrain from duplicating a lot of what you said, but some things bear repeating. Some big things this year that I want to draw your attention to are the terminology. There's the whole definition section in Game Manual 2 that defines all of these things, and there are some interesting concepts that are playing out here. The bracing, for instance. What does that mean? What's that all about? How do I brace? Do I get in trouble if I brace stuff? I don't know. Look at the rules. A circuit. They covered what the circuit was, but really pay attention to what that means. The strategy in this game, I think, is really cool. So these definitions are definitely going to be coming into play throughout the season. One thing I do like about the rules this year is if you look at the controlling aspect, they've actually put up hurting, propelling, sliding, launching, various things. We've seen launching in the past, but really they've done a great job in defining the propelling, the hurting, and the sliding of the game elements and all that. So pay attention to that. So there's a lot to understand, a lot to comprehend in that. As always, don't hesitate to reach out. Myself, Robert, we are available to take your questions, especially from the youth on the team. We want to hear from you. We will entertain questions from the coaches, sure, but definitely want to hear from the youth if you have any questions. Next slide, please. All right, so pre-match, for those, how many veterans are there here? Raise your hand if you're a veteran. So you rookies, look around. See all these hands that are raised? They're here to help you as well. But for those veterans, I get up from the driver's meeting and talk about your pre-launch setup, your checklists, as you're queuing up. So make sure you do that. But a couple of things as you come onto the field, get your robot set up. Remember, there are some pretty tight restrictions on where you start your robot. There are only a couple of squares here, unlike previous years. So that's very well defined, and how you place your robot. And then the cones, preloading. Yep, it's an option this year. Last year it was mandatory that you had a preloaded element. This year it's optional. So that's on you, okay? So we're, the ref team, the field reset team, we're not going to prompt you, or we don't have to prompt you to load. We're going to assume that if you want to load that element, you're going to go ahead and load it. If you want our help, ask the field reset or the referees. And remember, referees are here to help you as well. Yeah, we've got to call the rules, but we want to interact, we want to answer your questions, we want to prevent you from getting penalties. So if you have any questions, ask. If you want to load but are kind of not sure, ask the referees. Okay, that's what we're here for. The other thing is the sleeve. If you bring a sleeve and want to play a sleeve or the beacon, make sure you place those appropriately. Again, we are not going to prompt you, we're not going to remind you. That's part of the development and growth here. So keep that in mind as you go. I think I hit all those. Yep. So as we get going into the autonomous period, just a couple of things to be aware about. Again, I re-emphasize it because we see it every year. Kind of a common penalty is some of the teams, do that early start, both autonomous and driver control, and also the late start. So remember, late start is, okay, strategically, okay, we're going to give it a couple of seconds for maybe our alliance partner to head out in front of us. And then so 1, 2, 3, okay, go. That's a late start. You're going to get a penalty on that. Okay, so none of that. If you want to build that time element in to your autonomous program, that's the way to delay when your robot starts out on its autonomous path. So keep that in mind. You don't have to run an autonomous program. I know some of the new teams, especially rookie teams, they get up there and that first tournament, there are a lot of jitters. It's a nerve-wracking first match that you get up for. So just take a deep breath. You don't have to run autonomous. You can just sit there and go, we don't have an autonomous. We're cool with that. We're good. We'll wait for driver control. That is completely fine. And then also keep in mind interference. There is interference like every year. So understand what that interference looks like when it comes to autonomous. So next one. Okay, the human player is back. That's exciting. There are a number of rules that govern the human player introducing cones or, oh, wait a minute, no, you can't introduce multiple cones at one time, but you can do it. There are rules that you have to adhere to when introducing a cone into the substation. So be aware of that if you're a human player. Remember the alliance, the team will have 2 human players, one for each, but only one of those human players is allowed into the drive station area so that you can play as a human player. So each alliance, you got to figure out amongst yourselves which one of those human players is going to be playing for your alliance for that match. Okay? And remember, that can change with the matches. So look at that. There's a lot of scoring issues and a lot of scoring ways to cap, as Aaron was talking about. So pay close attention to all that. Really understand, what constitutes secured and, how you get those points for stacking those cones. I think the video we just saw did a really good job explaining that. But there's a lot of reference there in Game Manual 2 that you can refer to. So make sure you do that. Also remember we got parked. That was a new term that brought in last year. Before you had to stop the robot, now it's parked. And when I say stop the robot, in the past you had to stop the program, physically stop the program. Now remember, parked is just the robot has to be motionless. So the program can still be running, but the robot has to be motionless there at the end when the timer stops. All right, I think that's it. And again, read Game Manual 2, read those rules, all that. So there are also a lot of great appendices in your Game Manual 2. This year, I think more than any year that I remember, the appendix within Game Manual 2 is critical to understand the scoring, the strategy, and all that. They've got a lot of great information in there, so make sure, especially Appendix F, which talks about the scoring and the circuits and the stacking of the cones on top of each other, the beacons in play at the end game, and all that. So make sure you pay attention, and nope, that does not score in it. Sorry. All right, so that's critical. All right, I think that brings me kind of to I think I've got a couple more. Go ahead, next slide. Maybe? Yep. Okay, but again, wireless communication. We saw some of this last year as we got started again, is the hotspots being energized in the competition area that interfere with the robots or create a cluttered environment that may cause difficulties with the robot. So please, 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 please tell any friends, any family that's coming into the venue to watch your awesome performance on the field. Make sure they understand that hotspots are not allowed. It just creates hate and discontent. Our FTAs and our techies are going to be watching and scanning and all of that. If we identify a team that's doing it or someone associated with the team creating a hotspot, remember that is grounds for the team to be disqualified and politely asked to pack up and leave, and we don't want that to happen. Okay, so wireless comms is a very key. We had a couple of years where it was going really well, and then I think the COVID lull last year we kind of introduced and we saw more interference. So that's why I bring that to your attention and highlight that so much here. So take a hard look at that. Okay, next slide. And finally, you know, there's a lot going on the rules as always every year. Read them, kind of go over them. Like I said, ask questions as we go. I think one of the coaches mentioned that as well. Don't be afraid to ask questions. You know, I love entertaining the questions. I think it's great. So the team number, make sure that's displayed correctly per the directions both on the beacon as well as on your signal device, if you choose to go that way, and your robot. Your alliance markers, remember we've got the squares, the red squares, and the blue circles to denote which alliance you're playing on. Make sure those are very visible and you bring those need to be inspected. All of those things, the beacons, the signals, the team markers, alliance markers need to be inspected when you do your inspection. No launching game elements this year. So again, pay attention to those rules. I already talked about some of those definitions. I think this year they're very well defined, so you should be happy with that. Descoring. You already saw a couple of flags on the descoring aspect, so you can't descore, you know, another person. So Matt's red now. And that was obvious. So you know, I mean, talk to him about GP as well on that one. Okay, so be careful. Especially driving around, like I say, look at the field. It's tight. You know, in a minute you'll be able to get up and take a look. And so descoring might be an issue. Remember, Aaron said intentional or unintentional descoring could get you into trouble. So that's going to be a big one to keep an eye on as you go. And then of course plowing, herding, all of those. We already talked about some of those, but plowing is a big one. This year. As always, have a great season, have fun. GP is huge and all that. So my email address right down here, make sure you capture that. And the other thing I want to wrap up with is this afternoon I'm going to be doing a workshop on referee. You know, if you want to be a referee, best seat in the house is right here. You know, as a referee, wearing these cool striped shirts, and all that. I'd love to see some participation there. It's going to be, I'll do a little bit of talking, but I'll also entertain quite a few questions that you want to bring. I encourage coaches, if you've got the opportunity, come in and listen so that you can help kind of the vision of getting a referee cadre in play on a year-to-year basis. I'd love to see a lot of first alumni stepping up as you get into college and all of that. So if you want to be a referee, either now or in the future, please come to that workshop and we'll talk about that. I think that's it. Are there any, I've got a couple minutes before I'm due next door for the FLL kickoff, but I want to open it up for some quick questions. Again, like previous years, I'm not going to go deep into the rule book. If you ask a question that's in the rule book, we're going to move on. But I will entertain a few questions here. So I think we've got one in the back right off the top with Damien. Do we have a microphone that we can run around?
Good question. I want to make a sleeve, right? My team wants to make a sleeve. Is there a template? I see in the game manual there's a link to go to it, but I can't find it in the resource library yet.
I don't have an answer for that, but there should be a template somewhere. You know, I don't know exactly where. Dave, do you have?
That template is going to go live here today, probably at 10 o'clock. They wanted all the regions to have gone through their kickoffs first. And so at the end of the hour, it should be live.
Thank you. Excellent. A couple questions. One in back there. I'll take this one here. So can you run the mic over?
All right, so there's coach and human player. Human player is being brought back this year. And last year there was no human player, but the coach acted as a human player for like the Rubber Duckies. So what's going to be the difference between a coach and a human player this year?
Another person. So the coach can be both either a student or an adult mentor. human player has to be a student, okay? And so you can have a coach, 2 drivers, and 1 human player. So it's just another person to add in. That way the coach isn't dividing their attention. The coach can focus on what's going on while the human player does the job of the human player. Does that make sense?
Yes.
All right. Other question over here.
Can we drive over the poles if there's nothing on it?
On that one, I will refer to the game manual 2. As you read game manual 2, keep that question, everyone, keep that in mind. I think you've got an interesting idea there.
You said if you push one of the yellow rods over and it interferes with another team, does that count as interference? I know the answer to that.
So, interesting question. I'll have to reread, but as long as it doesn't de-score, you should be fine. As far as the actual in the process of scoring, if a robot is in the process of scoring a cone, then you might be looking at a penalty. Okay? So a couple ways, but as long as you don't de-score, if a cone is already on there, you'll probably be fine. Question in the back over here.
So last year, for the tournament, we had this situation where if you had more than one object on your robot, it would be a penalty. That also, or your robots underneath, would it still be considered illegal?
So for that one, I'll direct your attention to game manual 2. They specify that definitely in game manual 2. Okay, any other questions out there? All right, over yonder. Some good questions, thank you.
What mine?
Uh-oh.
What materials do you have to use?
That's in game manual 1. So game manual 1 lays out all the various things you can use to build your robot. All right, any other questions? I think, are you ready to come up and take a look at this field up close and personal? Christina?
Just a couple of quick announcements here, folks. Okay, so we're coming up, it's about 5 minutes to 10 now, so couldn't have timed that better if I tried. Workshops are going to begin at 10:15. So think about where you guys want to go. We'll throw the QR code back up. There's also paper copies of the schedule with the class descriptions and everything. Teachers, make sure that you sign into each of your workshops so you can get that the certificate for your PD hours from NAU. Big announcements. Okay, very important announcement. The lovely Patty, our head scorekeeper here, reminded me to remind you about the deadline for submitting your engineering portfolio before your tournaments. Oh, somebody's gonna get somebody's gonna get coned in the head. It is Tuesday at midnight before your competition. Tuesday at midnight before your competition is where you will submit your engineering portfolio. We're still gonna stick with kind of that hybrid model so that those judges have a chance to take a look at the engineering portfolio before they meet your team in your interview. Wednesday is when Patty will start sending you messages going, no, really, where's your engineering portfolio? Okay? We've had a year with this, a couple years with it, if you count the remote year and everything. And it does actually show up in the scoring system if it gets turned in light. Okay, it actually gets flagged that it was turned in light. So please make sure that you guys take care of that. That is also your control award submission and your request for feedback from the judges. It needs to be in by midnight on that Tuesday before the Saturday that you compete. Okay? Now, very, very important, as you come up to check out the field, these cones need to stay here. These are one complete set, one complete field. Coaches, we will send you home with a cone of your very own at the Coach Cafe later today, right after lunch. So come by. We want to make sure that we get one to each team so that you guys can get started on your robots. But please leave these cones where they are. Yes? All right, that being said, welcome to...
I've got one more. One thing I forgot, and I apologize. Robert, do you have any comments that you wanted to make?
Pre-inspect your robot.
Pre-inspect your robot. Yeah. I totally blissed. I got carried away on the floor as I usually do. So Robert, thanks for all you do to help us out here. Let's give a round for Robert.
And the checklist for that is in Game Manual 1.
Have a great season, everyone.
All right. Can we give a huge round of applause to both our head wraps in Arizona? The amazing Thank you. Yeah, we were going to do something with Debo and the coaches, but I didn't think anything that the coaches would know who we were talking about. All the students are like, what are you doing? So, again, referees, we need volunteers. Thank you so much for helping volunteer and doing everything. We would love to set up a volunteer hotline, this a group of people. So please come and see Rich and Robert. They're going to be putting on something, how we can get involved with that, with everything. And as always, thank you all for making Arizona FTC what it is today. And Coach, are we ready to bring some people up? Come up and play on the field.
Good to see y'all.
That might be racing.
That's part one. Both of those are part one. And one will be part two. But it's probably getting ready to go live at 10. It's another one of those delayed ones. So, yeah, it should be live here a moment ago. Have fun on the season. How's it going? Good to see you. Oh, yeah. The big team is kind of quasi-official. We're discussing it. By the rules, one, but we've gotten accepted for that in the past. I'm fully expecting possibly FLL definitely. FLL definitely. So I'd love to have these for FLL. Are you available to come to the workshop? Okay. I'll have a piece of paper, and then also just get a hold of me, send me an email or whatever. We'll definitely get things going. Definitely FLL, possibly FTC, if we get that 18. The score, we'll probably usually have scoring 18 to 21 is what I'm saying, it might be 20. But the scoring system like that is very complex. So that's why I think they're really pushing for the older. And also the separation between teams. So, but FLL definitely.
I have a question about this.
Yes. 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 Right. Yep. Yeah, I'm not going to go into a whole lot of detail on what, the way reffing kind of works. It's more going to be structured on, hey, here's what reffing is all about, and trying to go down that road, and also the vision of where I want to go, where we want to go as far as reffing in Arizona. So I'd love to have students in, especially for that when you graduate and move on. Like I said, I want alumni to be reffing.